was just, or making sculptures is like a more recent innovation, maybe or the
Innovation,
1800s, but they've
yeah,
had it for,
for
yeah,
thousands and thousands of
and
years.
they made it well. They made it well.
Yeah,
They made it well.
beautiful
The ears actually
sculptures.
look like ears.
Yeah, and their faces looks like how they looked that time. That's what they used
Mm,
in making those sculptures.
mm,
So in that particular time, the Benin Empire were they had
yeah,
kings, they
they had a
had
king.
they had people that kingmakers and stuff
Mm-hmm,
like that. So the political system was you have a king, have kids, your
mm-hmm,
prince, the next
mm-hmm,
king, and there were households
mm,
that were entitled to become kings. The
mm,
household that first settled in
mm,
that particular part,
mm,
from there, the part of the first households that
mm-hmm,
first settled in that particular part were the one that were entitled to be Benin kings. It was
mm,
not, part of that. Those particular parts were the one that like brought out the Yoruba culture,
mm.
the Benin
Yeah,
Empire, the
yeah,
Ife Empire,
yeah,
different empires like that brought out the
yeah.
Yoruba culture. So there was already a lot at
Mm-hmm.
that particular time that we speak about today. A lot of people see it as something that is just normal, but is actually the way things they do that time that we do no more.
Mm,
That are things of the past now,
mm,
but they are still so good.
mm-hmm. They're laudable. You can look back and
You
just,
can look back and just be like, wow, they did
yeah,
these things
yeah,
thousands of years ago.
yeah.
How is it
It's
possible?
just really, it's like a wonderful heritage to have.
Yeah,
That's one of the parts. So obviously you don't want to inherit everything,
yeah,
because of course, not every tradition from the past is supposed to be taken hook, line, and sinker.
yeah,
But to just think that they were so forward thinking,
yeah,
that they would have, like, they knew how to beat bras. They didn't have the machinery, but they found a way to make it work, right? And they were the kind of people who were ingenious. They found a way to plant stuff
yeah.
for like multiple times and see yield.
They were
All that
yielding
without using
almost
fertilizers.
every season
Exactly.
without.
So they did. So it just, nobody's saying go back to the period before fertilizers and machinery or tractors, because they help you do stuff better. But it's just really showing me that Africa as a whole, because it wasn't, some of the countries that we have now didn't exist at the time. So for one, Nigeria, where the Kingdom of Benin was located. So it just tells me that Africa really has a a heritage, or yeah, a heritage of ingenuity. Like, we can think,
Yes, we
contrary
can.
to what
A lot
you've been told.
Yes, a lot of people have been told that Africans can't do things on their own.
Yeah,
Africans can't stand on their own. They
yeah.
have to
We
plan
need the
for you.
Europeans
We need the
for.
Europeans. We need their political system. We need
Mm-hmm.
their democracy. A lot of people, you
Mm,
hear from a lot of people that we can't do it until we
mm,
read their books or
mm,
stuff like that. They
mm.
were doing it before
Before we had
them.
their books.
Before them, because
Yeah.
if you listen to the times that over 400 years. A
Mm-hmm.
particular empire was there over 400 years
Mm,
before it was conquered.
mm-hmm.
And you're telling me before the British conquest, are you telling me that the British was over 1,000 years ago
Mm,
before? So we were there before them. They
mm,
came, they took what they needed, and they
mm,
conquered. But the main thing is that they couldn't take it off.
mm,
The history is with us. And
mm,
a lot of us don't know about our history. That's why we are bringing forward this kind of educative video. So a lot of people can see why Africa is still Africa today. Because
mm,
there are a lot of empires that came together to become Africa.
mm-hmm.
It's not just the Africa they call it today.
Mm.
And we're living together
Yeah.
in peace and harmony.
Somehow we brokered
Somehow
peace.
we
Somehow we found a way to make it work.
yeah, that time until these people came and felt we were different people
Mm,
and we needed to live within borders and we
mm,
needed to have country names and stuff like that.
mm,
So this particular empire, the Benin Empire, is one of the most sophisticated societies of our time,
mm-hmm.
of the past.
For their
And
time, they were quite
yes,
sophisticated.
and they thrived during their time. So it's something that we can always look back
Yeah, and
into
take
and
inspiration
take
from.
inspiration from. So the Benin Empire is not just an empire. It is the empire that created a lot of people today, and it's part the history and the past is part of their present,
Mm.
because a lot of people speak the language that was
Mm-hmm.
used then. The Yoruba language is still
Mm-hmm.
spoken in Nigeria till
Mm-hmm.
today and various countries around the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are taking a lot from history. They don't even know they are taking a lot from history.
Mm.
And the Benin Empire is one of, I would say, one of the best empires
Mm.
during Africa's early beginnings.
Mm.
So
It's
please,
quite the
it's
heritage.
quite dangerous. So please, after watching this video, if you think you are educated and you like how the video went, please subscribe to this channel. Please
Yeah.
follow us on
Leave a
every
like, a
social media
comment.
platform, and we'll bring more African civilizations to you. Thank you very much. See you in our next video.
Peace.
Let's see how that went.